or how it's gonna work?
Right.
How?
Can you hear me right now?
Oh, sorry.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, but not that clear.
Let's see here. Just a little bit closer. Can you hear me better now?
Oh yeah, it's a lot better.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just signed out of my other account. So I'm recording this now, so I'll be posting a lot of this stuff on YouTube. Ben, very very nice to meet you. Thank you for.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, there's just I've been doing some of these weekly infrastructure calls for the past like month and a half, 2 months or something like that, and I was hoping that since we all need to be running infrastructure, that this would be sort of a good common ground that we can all sort of find to start engaging with each other a little bit more, sharing work and developing sort of action plans that we can coordinate with each other. But just for now, because I didn't want to bother you guys with decentralization, but now that things have sort of seemed to calm down a little bit, I thought it would be a good time to just sort of go over a few of the concerns that I did have, and ask you some questions directly. So you have the list of questions that I put up. I'm just happy to just sort of work from the top and just sort of go down there from there if you would like.
Yeah, so I will answer what I can, but since I'm not like a full-time developer, so I don't think I can answer all of it. And if I can answer it, then I will toss it over to my developers and let them answer it.
Sure, no
Is
problem.
this sound okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Can you see my screen right now?
Yep, I can see your screen.
And the list of questions is the one that's showing, right?
Okay, so when will JSON be updated? How often it will be updated? So for the for whitelist, so we updated every in my memory it was every minute or something. So no one will gonna lose any preps to do it, I guess. Yeah, but I kind of have to check it. But in my memory, it was less than a minute, so we don't have to lose any prep in the whitelist.
Okay, so these are the foundation nodes. So I'm just guessing I'm hitting the wrong endpoint then. These are obviously not the nodes right here. But okay, so yeah, this endpoint is just wrong, but there is an endpoint that does have all of the whitelist, the IPs that need to be whitelisted, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so I'll find the right endpoint, and it's updated every minute. Okay, so this is just this is something that we should be testing on testnet, I guess. So as far as like networking stability, that sort of boils down to us sort of stressing the network and moving different nodes, how it reacts. Okay.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna open the testnet in next week or so. Our resources all fully invested in the network stabilization for now. So we haven't had much time to open it, but we will definitely open it. And within that testnet, you guys can try so many things in there and see what would be helpful and what could harm the Icon network in there.
Okay, so let's just put the testnet questions then right now. So there will be an IP whitelist endpoint that we can hit for testnet as well, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so just moving on, I guess, to the next question. On testnet, can we start running it ourselves? Is there any way that we can start printing wallet addresses that will run on something that we can have a little bit more control over?
I guess you can, but someone have to set up the network for you guys, right? So for the first phase testnet, it will be just exactly same as the mainnet testnet, except we are actually delegating the testnet token, and we're going to distribute it to the peer candidates who want to participate in testnet, so they can actually delegate each other and make them the peer rep or something like that, main peer rep or sub peer or something like that.
Okay, and we'll be able to control that a little bit more, basically?
I have to check with it, but we try to give you the yeah, freedom as much as possible. Yeah, so that's what we kind of hope for, but we don't wanna like damaging our test network. So I don't think we can give you the full access, but we could make it together. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess when the next test net comes up, we'll just start asking
Mhm.
you some more questions directly about how we can start to engage a little bit more on that. Because I mean,
Yeah.
just to give you a little background, I mean, I've got God, I mean, probably like 10 different things that I want to be testing on testnet
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
various network stability issues and whatnot. So it
Mhm.
would be really helpful if we can start getting a little bit more control over how that operates.
Uh, yeah.
Um, okay, and then that sort of answers the second one about having a little bit more control over electing leaders and whatnot. Um,
Mhm.
the some of the log parsing scripts are I've seen that for instance the Docker file and like the Nginx was recently
Mhm.
open sourced by I forget his name. I would butcher his name
You
anyway.
know?
But so are there any more scripts that we can maybe expect to have open source from the foundation specifically with respect to the
So
log?
we are gonna do the documentation right after we are stabilizing our network. So we are working on that, and there's gonna be tons of open source log for the everything. Yeah. So we are planning to open source everything we have,
Okay.
but yeah, but we are working on it. So yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, we're not trying to slow you guys down at all, and you guys have your priorities, right? So, yeah, this is just, yeah, just questions on our end, anyways. So, registering multiple IPs, I sent a message in the channel about that, and I hope I'm barking up the right tree with all of this, but it seems to me that if you run a node in a private subnet, that IP address is going to be natted, right? And so when you do the outbound connection from that node, if that NAT IP address is not whitelisted, then the node can't enter the network. But obviously NATs can't receive inbound requests. So, and the inbound request should be going through our load balancer. So is it possible to potentially whitelist multiple IP addresses, one for the outbound connection and one for the inbound?
We try to set it up in like three phases. So in first phases is like setting up with uh, only one IP address to open to everyone. So that's what we are right now. But as we did it because so our first priority is to make decentralization possible. And if we let like a multiple IP addresses or like a Nginx or something like limiting to whitelist IP list or something like that, then I'm sure you can do it, but many of peers cannot do it improperly. So what we do is, so we are in phase one for now, but we are gonna upgrade to phase two and phase three. So phase two is like try to set up the limit number for the transaction, and phase three would be like a multiple IP addresses and like a set Nginx in front of it and set load balancer or something like that. So peers can actually operate it in safe condition. So
Fantastic.
that is our plan, and yeah, you'll be able to do multiple IP addresses in the future, but not right now. So yeah, our main priority is to make Icon network run as smooth as possible, and then we can upgrade it. Yeah,
Yeah, sounds
that
good.
is.
I was really just hoping that at least that my thinking, that logic around justifying multiple IP addresses was sound,
Mhm.
and that like they're because we can do a lot of like different network topologies and everything like that, but this just seems like a prerequisite to start to push things behind a load balancer and a NAT and all that kind of stuff. So okay, do you have a timeline for any of those phases, like phase two, phase three?
Um, I have to check, but it's not like next year or something like that. It will be done in within a year, I guess.
Okay,
But yeah,
cool.
since I'm not developing, so
Right.
I can't really tell. But
Okay.
yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
who would be the person to talk to specifically about like how we can start like helping make improvements to this network? Like if us P reps want to start proposing, like there was the recent thread on the forum about RFPs and different I don't even know if these are EEPs really. They're just mainly like infrastructure related kind of stuff, and
Mhm.
dApps and whatnot, like these different proposals. Like, is there a developer that we can specifically reach out to who potentially also speaks English that we can talk to about what we can do to help?
Uh, there is, but I think he's putting his full time on
Yeah.
the decentralization for now. So I will set it up. Yeah. And Ginu is the head of head of network infrastructure team. So you can talk to him, but he's crazily busy for now, and he doesn't speak English that well. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, certainly we're not trying to take distract him or anything like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Really, if it's only going to help, that we would want to start reaching out to him, and trying to take load off of him. Really, Um,
Yeah.
okay. So I guess the fourth block, different IP for citizen and PREP. So for now, this is not okay, right?
Hmm.
And so I'm guessing now that like phase 2 or phase 3, we'd be able to start using a different IP address for the citizen PREP, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that basically answers that there. Um,
Hmm.
and then also, like, would it benefit the network to run like a large pool of citizen nodes? I know that we're all syncing off of the foundation citizen node network. So, is it
So it is for the future, yeah. So not for right now, but we're expecting to our network to grow. So that is why we kind of expect you guys to do it. But honestly, for now, it's not that necessary.
mhm.
But it could help you to produce block better if the transaction size is big or there's too many transactions to get handled.
Yeah. So that's going to be I'll just put that in a proposal. I'm definitely going to, we're in a really good position to put that together where we could run like a global citizen node network and
That would be awesome. Yeah.
yeah, like a content delivery network as well. So we can,
Mhm.
that's definitely something we'll be proposing. Okay. On the node sizing,
Mhm.
right now the nodes are running very under capacity.
Mhm.
Is there a specific reason to run like oversized nodes? Like,
Um, so you are expect so like there's gonna be a more DApps coming up this next week and in January, which is like called something or like a vlog or something like that, and that will make in our expectation they will bring us a lot more transaction than we have right now. So in order to run the run that amount of transaction in our network properly, that is our expected that what was it specification that requires not to slow down our icon network. So
okay.
that was the reason, but yeah, but yeah.
Well, that's great news.
Yeah, for now it is over. Yes, for now it is oversized, but yeah.
And that's fine. I mean, it's great to know that we're going to be running more transactions through the network. So yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good answer right there. I'm happy with that. So as far as downtime, right now I'm really afraid of touching my node. I synced up 2 nodes prior to decentralization, so I have a backup node that's already synced up. If I do want to do some changes, and just like remount an EBS volume basically, but can we see, like right now within the entry point, for instance, unless the node is whitelisted, we can't sync the node. So if we transfer a node, then we're gonna lose out on. We're basically gonna. It's not gonna sync up in the 20-minute time of whatever we need to be able to maintain uptime instead of getting booted out of the top 22. So is it possible to sync a node without registering the IP?
It is possible, yeah. So you can register as a citizen node. You can use citizen node to sync first, and then you use that backup to uh, your PRAM node when you actually update it or like upgrade it or something.
Okay.
I think that would work. Yeah.
So when you run the node, there is an option to force the node into like a citizen node operation, basically. So we would do that and then sync the node and then run the new container with the right environment variables, basically to then join on the mainnet, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
I haven't quite tried that yet, but I'll make sure to do that. Because yeah, that's
But
just
let me ask this question to developers again to make sure, since I don't want to get you penalty or something like that because of my wrong answer or something. So
okay.
let me check with this, and I will get back to you.
Okay, yeah, this is probably honestly like the most immediate, like biggest concern that I have out of all these different questions, because I just want to make sure that we don't miss a term. And I know that we'll be maintaining like a very high uptime and everything like that, but nobody wants to show any downtime right now,
Yeah.
especially when all the votes are moving around and whatnot. So yeah, let's follow up on that, and then I'll make sure to put some clear documentation up to let everybody else know. Wow, we're only 15 minutes into this meeting and I've already gotten so much information.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried that I asked too much or something, but it's good.
Great, and I know you're busy, so we don't need to extend the
Fine.
call that much further. So for governance, are there any changes that we can expect? I've heard some murmurs that there are some things, and people are definitely asking about changing the governance with respect to the amount of blocks that you can miss until you get taken out of the main PREP status. Anything that you can sort of hint at or let us know that is going to happen?
So we are actually researching it for now, and we are not going to do like immediate change, but we are definitely trying to find some way that people who don't do anything and just register as a PRAP couldn't get any rewards or something. So we try to avoid that happen. So, but in our current system, since we don't have that much peer candidates, so there's some free riders that actually takes our rewards. So we try to make it as easy as possible to actually make people to join as a peer candidate and give them more fair reward system. But yeah, but there's always pros and cons for that. So we have to do more research. And when we actually done with the research, we're not gonna just update it, but we're gonna share it. We're gonna talk with the peers and like peer candidates and many icons and see what they think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a timeline for any of that, or specifically like the conversations that are going to lead up to those decisions?
There's no specific timeline for now, but we are doing the research for ourselves at this moment. So I'm thinking we could possibly propose in December or something like that, but nothing is certain in this point. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe our system is good enough, but yeah, what I'm trying to do is like we try to make uh, voters to be more active. Yeah, that's my kind of goal. So hardworking peers get more votes, and not working peers don't get any rewards or something.
Yeah, and we don't need to sort of broach into that subject too much, because I think we all know like sort of what's going on there. So yeah, cool.
Yep.
All right. And then last, I mean, I guess this is really the most important question out of all of them. How can we help more? What are the things that you would like to see us doing more as P reps? Really, I mean, yeah.
So what I expect from the peers is that like, so we cannot actually make all DApps or like, so what we are trying to do is we want peers to get more people to actually get more ICX so they can actually play with it. So like developing DApps or like educating why Icon is better than the other blockchain platform to other people would be good to start, I guess, since we need a lot of people to actually join in Icon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that would be a good start. And then if they have enough money to do it, they could actually do, I don't know, yeah. So for first thing comes into my mind is like we could use peer apps to marketing the icon, yeah, marketing icon, since we cannot go like everywhere in the world to like promoting icons. So I think that would be great help. And for the developing side, it's really hard to coordinate all the peer apps and develop the core engine or something like that at this moment. So for now, I think it will be great for peer apps to develop D apps or like some easy games that like casino apps or what else is it? They're like block games or something like that. So people can actually play with it. Yeah, I think that would be great start.
Okay.
Mhm.
So for my team specifically, we're more focused on the infrastructure side of things.
Mhm.
So I just sort of think to myself, like, are there like some of the things that I was mentioning earlier about potentially helping, and I don't want to butcher his name, but like I think his name's Jean-Ju.
Mhm.
I probably butchered it, but like you know, is the foundation going to be sort of putting out any of like any RFPs or anything like that to solicit different P reps to help with the development? Is that gonna is that
I don't think we are gonna set some periods to do something, but I think as a foundation, we could make a list that what we need, and after that we get help, we can like recognize them by voting or something like that.
okay?
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, a list of things to do, just that we can start parsing and assigning to different teams and whatnot, and coordinating with yourselves. That would be a
Yep.
really that would be huge. That would be really great. So yeah, if you can if that can be done, that would be amazing. And I
Yep.
think to myself, like one of those things is like the exposed secret, right? And I've been talking with Bong already about like you know, a couple different ways we can handle that. So
Mhm.
yeah, a lot more of those things. That would be great.
Yep. So we will think about it. Yeah.
Cool.
I think.
All
Mhm.
right. Well, this was really productive. I don't know if anybody else has any other questions that they want to jump in with. Ajay, I know that you're on the line.
Mhm.
Yeah. Does anybody else have anything they want to ask?
Nothing for now. Yeah, there were great questions here. I think cleared most of my queries too.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, and this is Seth Riney on the call. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate putting all those questions together. I had similar questions about some of the networking issues, and they were addressed. So thanks very much. We'll look forward to those features.
Thank you. Yeah. So we are gonna. I think we should have like something like a weekly AMA or something like that, and I will try to coordinate it so you guys can ask me freely or to the developers easy as possible. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, that would
Mhm.
be fantastic. And then, I mean, just to sort of reinforce a point like that I mentioned at the beginning of the call, we all have infrastructure issues. We all have to deal with this. And I was really hoping that these infrastructure calls could start to bring the whole community together. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully we can continue these conversations and start working together a little bit more on all these different things.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think this is. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. So just to recap, this is happening later. This is sort of like a phase thing. Testnet's happening later in the week.
Mhm.
So that's all fine. Node sizing. and this, yeah, all of this is sort of just being addressed. I think there was one thing that from up here, I forget exactly, I was going to re-listen to the call, but that you were going to follow up on.
Oh, the downtime, right?
Yeah, the downtime. That was that was it. Exactly. Yeah. So clarity on that would be very, very helpful to all the different P reps. So I would say this is probably the main thing that we'd like to get clarity on.
Yeah, I will ask, and I will share it that P rep in the Telegram or something.
Cool. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I got. If we want to, if just as the P reps want to stick behind and talk a little bit more, otherwise, Ben, really thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate everything you guys are doing. I know you guys are working your ass off. So yeah.
Thanks for coordinating this. Yeah, thank you. And we will do better with the communications. Yeah, I know it's kind of bad, but we will do better.
Yeah.
I feel really sorry for PRF, but we got fast since there's so much work. Yeah.
I think we can all be more proactive. You know, it's all a two-way street on all this stuff. So.
All right, thank you guys, and talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye. So yeah, P reps. Who's all on the call right now? Who do we got? We got 3 of us. Okay. Is there anything that we want to talk about specifically? Start coordinating anything? Is everybody on the Notion platform? I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to force that on P reps. I'm really just, this is a proposal, you know, but I really think we should be working on trying to get a sort of consolidated, centralized kind of like task management, project management solution together.
Yeah, so we have been there, and we are putting our efforts there.
Cool.
So, and what is this, Robert? The Notion is like a Jira or something?
Yeah, it's Jira and Confluence rolled in one.
Okay.
So this is what I've started to put together. I was thinking that we have like a main organization, and I put together 2 different layouts, and I kind of droned off for a while and talked a little bit about the organization. But there's a couple different ways we can put this together, and I think there's definitely a lot more buy-in for this one specific layout. But basically, we would have like a database of different teams, and so like just to equate this to Jira, in Notion they have a concept of a table, and in that table you can put any kind of arbitrary field in here, and then each one of these entries can drill down into a specific page, which is the equivalent of like a Confluence Wicca, basically.
Okay.
So right now I've started to put together some of the teams, and for instance, like it's so hard to find everybody's stuff, right? And so I've got links to each, you know, as many people's GitHubs as I could. I just still a lot more work to be done, but hoping that people can jump in here, put their icon in, and, you know, put in the link to their GitHub. And then how this works is it's pretty nice, where if you have the GitHub org filled in on the last database table right here, when I populate all of the different repos, for instance, and so this table right here is just tracking different repos that are of importance to the community, that it would automatically join in the GitHub organization that's associated with that repo. So and there's a lot of different ways that you can sort of link the different tables and databases together to create cross references and stuff like that, so you're not constantly filling in every single table from scratch, basically. So I was thinking about putting together like a repository database, a documentation database, because there's just stuff all over the place on Medium, on the official docs, on unofficial docs, on, you know, each.
Well, and mining the Telegram channel would be, you know, sort of if you could organize everything that's come through Telegram, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be that would be a lot of work.
Yeah, we did mine the Telegram channel for the FAQs previously. So we
Yeah.
have prepared a list of FAQs. I think I will be adding that too in this repository.
Yeah, I mean, just to be really clear about what I'm trying to do here, I'm not trying to make this into like a promotional piece to sort of like pump, Insight Icon or whatever, and everything like that. This should be an internal tool that like we're all using to just do real planning and not just sort of, shill for our teams all over the place and sort of gain credit for whatever, This is like something that we can really use. So like a team neutral like source for a lot of this stuff, you know. But anyways, I don't know. I'm really trying to get some of this stuff together just because like it's painful to try to find things, and it's painful to scroll through Telegram to find answers. That's just not the right way of doing things. So something like this would be cool. And I'll just show you what my team uses to store tasks, for instance. So like this is like our task board, and you can look at this in a number of different ways, like by status, and I can start to see, this is unassigned, this is next up, progress, whatever, and this is all like it's all really easy to put together. You just sort of name your columns and just start populating things, and then it will normalize into different views and whatnot to be able to check out what's going on and whatnot.
Cool.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to pump this, trying to get a little bit of traction behind this, and yeah, every single call I feel like I'm going to go back to this because we should, it doesn't have to be this. It should be just something. Like I initially thought maybe we should just get Jira together and Confluence. Those are industry standard tools. They are in many regards like better than Notion, but the fact that Notion has sort of rolled everything together and consolidated it into one makes it a very, very attractive solution. It's like really like a content management system, really, where you can just sort of dump everything in here. Even things like, for instance, I guess I should talk about one last thing. This is recorded. I know, Ajay, you've already seen this kind of stuff, but if I go here, like things like embedding a lucid chart. This is in Confluence, you would need to have a plugin to be able to embed lucid charts, and you have to pay for it. I don't even know if you pay for it, but it's a pain to set up. Like something like this, you just sort of drop your lucid chart diagram and it keeps up to date, which is amazing. So I don't know. I'm shilling for my project management solution here, or my proposed project management solution. So,
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I think one of the things that was interesting that, with all the questions you brought up is that it's just not clear how some of the, basically what I would describe as like shared PREP services are going to be implemented. So in particular, the things that you talked about were backups, which everybody's probably rolled their own little backup solution at this point, because once you've had to restart and sort of pull down from the S3 bucket in wherever it is in Korea, and it takes 20 minutes to do that, and then 20 minutes to untar it and stuff like that. You quickly want to have something that's more sophisticated. And so we run all Kubernetes, and so we've got Sidekick containers that are like constantly syncing and basically have volumes available for restarting a node if something crashes on a sort of a fully synced volume. And so, figuring out how to have those sorts of solutions shared. I mean, at least from the standpoint of, I don't know, somebody was looking at doing like CDN for the tarball of the sort of seed data, just so that you didn't have the network latency from Korea.
mm-hmm.
So trying to understand how that all is going to get. I mean, I know that the core development team had talked about doing some of that stuff. And then my biggest concern is just that, like, honestly, it's a little bit wonky that we're running these scripts to validate the database that are basically downloading random scripts and running them through sudo bash. And I'm trying to understand how long is that going to go on, because, I've got some experience with some other projects, and that's definitely not something that is standard.
Yeah. What team are you with, by the way? Sorry.
Symmetry.
Symmetry. Okay, cool. Awesome. Glad you guys are running Kubernetes. We should, I don't know. I'm running Kubernetes for the logging and monitoring. So would be, I don't know if you want to collab on anything related to.
Yeah, I mean, I had to back it out because of the NAT issue. So I'm just running an EC2 instance with Docker Compose now. But
right.
I mean, again, we've got a lot of industrial strength automation that we just haven't been able to leverage it yet because it's still a bit immature. The blockchain for Icon.
Right, and I'm sure with all of the sophisticated infrastructure you're running, you're automating the provisioning with Terraform. I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a variety of tools in place, and Terraform is one of them. So
cool. Yeah, so we're doing all of that as well, and we've open sourced our whole deployment on all of that. So all these little things that we're talking about here would be great to start to work together with and start to consolidate. So yeah, I don't know. Those restore scripts and all the DB checks and whatnot, that should all be, we need to figure out a better solution. And it sort of gets back to like project management, really, because everybody's sort of walking around with like chickens with their heads cut off and everything like that, and just kind of grabbing for whatever. It'd be nice if we can just kind of consolidate it into like, hey, this is your task, this is what you do, whatnot. So cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that if there's if there's logic in the core blockchain software that could be executed before the term transitions happen, then it seems like that's where it should happen, right? Because then it's open sourced and it's distributed and everybody's sort of cool with it. It's just having these sort of like callbacks to some central server that's hosting a script. Like I mean, we're talking about decentralizing it, but that's not decentralized. So and I get it's just sort of like it's a stopgap until the thing gets stabilized, but it seems like sooner than later, because all it does is just it creates vulnerabilities. It's a point of failure and it's an attack vector. So
yeah, I mean, everything really should be immutable, such that whenever we do want to do a database update or something like that, we just sort of redeploy and switch over. I would imagine. But
yeah, no, it just seems like there's bugs in the software in the Python code that's accessing the database and this term transition. And it seemed to me like there's some sort of race condition when the term transition happens or somewhere before that corrupts the database, and they've just got to fix that bug.
yeah.
Cool. All right, great. Well, so these are going to happen once a week with the guys in Korea, or you're going to set it up for a different time for just P-reps, or?
Not sure. As long as we can just keep on talking, I'll keep having these calls, and we can, if we're getting shit done, we should just keep on talking. I don't know. Okay. Like some of the calls have been sparse. Some of them have been relatively productive. But if we can get a member of the foundation to pop their head in, and then we continue the conversation from there, we'll make sure to have these every single week. And Ben did suggest this time, so which is a good time for me. So yeah, last time to coordinate the calls, I was doing them at 6 a.m. UTC, which is in 3 hours and 20 minutes, whatever, 11 o'clock my time. And so that was based on a poll that I put up on Telegram. But I'll probably just put up another, I was doing them at 6 a.m. and then I was doing them the 12 hours after that to make sure that everybody in the world could join. But we just have to figure out whether or not we're doing 2 calls or 1 call and which time that is that everybody can join, in some regards, it's better to have it just sort of ad hoc where we do it at a different time so we can make sure that different people can join and everything like that. If we're going to be doing one call a week, if we're going to be doing two, then we'll just.
Okay, yeah, no, I mean, my only suggestion is if anything is, like, I know we actually monitor with a bot the official announcement channel, and then, pump it into other sort of notification things that we have. And so it'd be good for the calls to go through that as well, because the other Telegram channel, the mainnet and testnet, it gets pretty chatty, and it's hard to sort of parse everything out of there. So
Yeah.
cool. All right. Well, thanks a lot for putting it together. I'm gonna sign off now. But,
yeah. No, I think this is pretty much it. So, all right, cool. Sounds good.
All right. Take it easy, guys. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Take care, Jai.
Yeah, okay.